Hey team, I just wanted to fashion a quick tutorial together just to, um, I want to do these somewhat regularly just to kind of give you an idea of how I'm doing certain things. And just keep in mind there's probably a dozen ways to do this, and not to mention on a mobile device, there's apps that'll do this as well. Um, so you can figure out your own way, but this is kind of the process I walk through on how to do this. Basically what we're creating is a little Insta similar to, I guess, a boomerang, where you're able to kind of a video time lapse forward and backwards with some layers above it. And on Insta and Facebook, it just you know replays the video over and over again. So it's a nice little effect, catches the user's attention, and stops the scroll for a second. So let me show you how I did this. So this is the finished product. Let's go from scratch. So I had Ivy yesterday take a bunch of pictures, and basically she set up my tripod, took her mobile camera, and slowly put books in one at a time. You get the idea here. So all the way until we got to the end here. So to a full bookcase. Okay. So she took all these books. I'm going to come over here, and I'm in Final Cut. You can use Adobe Premiere. I'm just more familiar with Final Cut, so this is what I'm going to be using. But Adobe Premiere is in many ways a greater tool than this. So there's ways to do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and create a new event, and just to show you how this works, we're going to do a tutorial. And this is not going to be a widescreen because it's Instagram. It's 1080 by 1080. So you come over here and you do custom, and you just type in 1080 by 1080 at 23.98 frames per second, and we're good. All right, so I have a blank project here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the files, the pictures that Ivy took. I'm going to grab all those and drag them in right here. Now by default, it puts each picture 4 seconds apart. Obviously, we don't want that, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of those. We're going to right-click, and we're going to turn this into a compound clip, which basically connects them all together, so there's just one clip instead of several. We'll call this bookcase. All right, and you'll notice we have some black bars on the left and right. We're going to increase this to about here, let's say, and center the middle shelf. Okay, and let's go a little bit that's right about there. All right, so you'll notice we have a compound clip, but it's very slow. How you change the duration of this is you select it, and you can do a couple things. What I like to do is come up to modify, change retime, and we're going to go 20 times fast, and that brings it much faster, but we're going to even do it faster than that. We want this to be about 3 seconds. You'll see the yellow there. Let's see if that's fast enough. Yeah, okay, so you see the point. All right, now because now we need to go in reverse motion, we're going to copy this, and we're going to paste it next to the clip. So Command C, Command V. Now I have one problem here, is that it just repeats and it goes over again. I need to reverse this clip, so we're going to select it, go back up to modify, and come over here and do reverse clip. Now it's gone backwards, so here we go. Okay, we're going to connect those together. Once again, do compound clip. One thing you'll notice here, right when it changes to the next clip, there's this little kind of blinking. So I need to remove that out of there. In fact, I'm probably going to, well, yeah, let's see, we'll go. So I'm going to select my blade tool and find where that happens. We'll do it right here. So we're going to cut this part out right there. Okay. There. So now it goes forward and reverse. Okay. Now, given the way I do things with CHBC stuff, I always do a gradient layer on top of things and then text layer on top of that. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I pulled up my Photoshop file that I do to create these kind of ads. So you'll see here, this is the ad that's on the screen and on flyers and stuff like that. I went ahead and edited the text beforehand and added some extra wording so it says this is the last Sunday for book drive. And so I exported that. All you got to do to do that is just select the group you want. So in this case, I want these 3 layers. Right click, do quick export as PNG, and then I save it to where I want it. Okay. And also I created a square, a 1080 by 1080, and just drag the gradient over here. So I drag this over to that layer, and so now I have a gradient for 1080 by 1080 that goes on top. So I have those 2 things. This is a JPEG, so I export that as a JPEG, export the text out as a PNG, come back over to Final Cut, and I'm just going to drag these in. So I'm going to find where I'm storing these. So here's the background. Just drag that on top. Okay, and we're also going to drag on top the text. Okay. And simple. Now you'll notice my text is edge to edge. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. And then I'm going to take this gradient and bring down the opacity to about 65, let's say. All right, like that effect. Now we're going to take our text layer, bring it down just a little bit so it's more even. There we go. And one thing I might do as well, for the sake, you could change the coloring on this a little bit, bring out the, play with the exposure a bit so the blacks are more black. But that's up to you. Anyway, that's how you do that. So now we're done with that. So here's our little 6-second clip, or 5 seconds and 5.23 seconds. And you come up here, go to File, Share. We want 1080p, not 720. 1080p. So Apple device is 1080p, and you're just going to export it, call it whatever you want, Insta, and save that where you want. All right, now it's going to save it. Now get it over to your phone, or you can post it through apps on your browser to Instagram and Facebook. That's how we do that. Hope you enjoyed.